Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton, and today's guitar album is Eric Clapton's 461 Ocean Boulevard. Couldn't do a series of guitar players without talking about Eric Clapton. This was released in July of 1974, and this was his first album that he had recorded after sort of overcoming a long-term addiction to heroin. The famous story is that Pete Townsend helped rescue Eric Clapton from this addiction by putting on the Rainbow Concert, kind of bringing Eric back into the spotlight. And so that stuff has been well documented. It was released on RSO Records, and the hit single that came out was I Shot the Sheriff, which a lot of people know. It was a big hit for Eric Clapton. It was released in July of that same year. And this went on to be a big commercial success based on that hit single. Now, the title of the album, 461 Ocean Boulevard. I'll go ahead and show you guys the RSO label there. It refers to the address where Clapton was living while this album was being recorded. The street address has now been changed. It's no longer 461 because there were a lot of people that started flocking to the property. And so the house has been rebuilt. It's not there anymore. And the street address has been restored. So if you go to 461 Ocean Boulevard in Miami, you're not going to see this house that's featured here. Now, there was a deluxe edition that came out on CD back in 2004, and it had a live concert that was recorded. Now, sort of the background here, like I said before, Clapton was overcoming this addiction to heroin, and he sort of coming out of the fog of that. He realized he wasted several years, and he had done nothing but really just watch TV and get out of shape. So he basically started working on a farm, listening to a lot of new music. Brought back his love for the old blues records, and he started writing some songs out of these very simplistic ideas. Now, he was given a demo by Carl Radle, who played with Derek and the Dominoes, and Dick Sims, who played keyboards, and Jamie Oldaker from drums. And he liked the recordings. He thought they were really neat. And so he was given some time to write some new material. And so he went to work on these tracks for this release. He kind of left the songs incomplete on purpose. Because he wanted the musicians to get a chance to get their fingers on it and to kind of put their own stamp on it. Clapton was in the musical and the movie version of Tommy. And so Robert Stigwood, who was involved in that as well, his manager, sent him down to Criteria Studios in Miami, where he worked with Tom Dowd. Those of you that saw The Language of Music, which is a really great documentary about Tom Dowd, Clapton was really in a fragile state. He didn't know how people were gonna take it. He brought along Yvonne Elliman, who had done Jesus Christ Superstar, Mary Magdalene. She also was on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. And he also brought along George Terry to play guitar. He lived at this rental house that Stigwood took care of. And basically, from April to May, he went in the studio and recorded this album. He used Blackie, the Fender Strat. For the slide guitar work, he used a few Gibson 335s. And he played his Martin, his old Martin acoustics that he had. So, there were a couple of things about the album. He kind of said when he wrote his autobiography, the song "Let It Grow," which is a great song. Critics kind of also thought that the melodically it sounded a lot like "Stairway to Heaven." Also, "Get Ready" is the song that featured Element on it. But there is also some versions of songs that Clapton had been doing, stuff like Steady Rollin' Man, Willie and the Hand Jive, I Can't Hold Out. Those songs were around as well. He was getting into sort of the reggae thing. Burning by Bob Marley and the Wailers. And Clapton, of course, a lot of people say stole I Shot the Sheriff. But Clapton wasn't a big fan of that. He thought it was a little bit of a hardcore reggae thing. And they finally convinced him to put the song on the album because they said, this is a hit song. And Marley even told Eric Clapton that he liked his version of it. So it really went well. Also, you've got stuff like Give Me Strength and Motherless Children. As far as Clapton album goes, and I have to say this about Clapton, known as a great guitar player, I really enjoy Clapton's singing voice. And to me, a lot of the albums that Clapton does that focuses more on his singing than his guitar playing, I find to be more intriguing. And so this album is it's a commercial sounding album. It definitely is one that you could put on. You don't have to be heavy into sort of the guitar thing to appreciate it. And so that's one of the things I like about this album. It's a pleasant record and a fine effort from Eric Clapton, Mr. Sloan himself. If you know this album, comment down below, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. In the meantime, I'll see you all again tomorrow with another Daily Record.